Hey, what's up? I'm Zach. I'm here with Brandon. And we're the Scrub Club, a Yu-Gi-Oh channel based on obnoxiously round glasses and Arizona tea. And today we're going to be deck profiling Nekroz, because banning Trish and Brionac once obviously wasn't enough. So let's pan the camera down. So, start off, 3 copies of Brionac. I'm going to go and explain these for the people who don't know exactly what all the cards do, and they maybe want to, are interested in playing the deck. So you can discard Brionac to add any Nekroz monster from your deck to your hand, and when he's summoned, he can bounce up to 2 monsters your opponent controls summoned from your extra deck.
Once per turn. So it's actually even better than he said, because just once per turn he can bounce 2, up to 2. Just pointing that out there. Sorry.
You got 3 Colossalas, and you can discard him. You can discard him to add a Nekroz spell or trap. It does say spell or trap, so a trap is coming. And during either player's turn, he can negate a monster special summon from the extra deck. He can negate the effect of a monster special summon from the extra deck and make its attack 0. You got 3 Nekroz or unicore. When he's summoned, he can negate the effects of all face-up monsters on the field summoned from the extra deck, and you can also pitch him to add any Nekroz card, so monster, spell, or trap, from your grave to your hand. You got 2 Trishula, and not only does he have that awesome Trishula effect that we all know and love, you can discard him, and he's kind of like a Forbidden Lance. He stops your Nekroz monsters from being targeted.
And one errata to him is that he's not like Trish, in the sense that you have to banish 1 card from your opponent's hand, their field, and graveyard. You cannot just banish 1 card from their hand.
2 Gungnir, because during either player's turn she can pop things, and then you can discard her for protection to make it so your Nekroz monster can't be destroyed by battle or card effect that turn. 1 Valkyrus, he's draw power. 2 is good in the mirror, so if you're into playing 2, you can slide in an extra 1 or even run 2. 1 Decisive Armor, it's the big beat stick of the deck, and it functions as an honest type monster, where if a Nekroz is battling, you can pitch this and have it gain 1,000 attack.
And defense.
That's all for the ritual monsters. I have regular monsters. I have 3 manju of the 10,000 hands. Easily searches any of your ritual monsters or ritual spells. 3 caster. Strategist. He's strategist now of the Nekroz. And he's just good. When you ritual summon, he can be used as the entire tribute, and when he's tributed, you can add a warrior Nekroz from your deck to your hand. You might be thinking, how do you add the spell? How do you add, say you need to get into gungnir, but you can add Brionac and just pitch Brionac and go into gungnir. So essentially, he can add anything when he's tributed. I play 2 senju just for more searching, and then 1 djinn, releaser of rituals, and 1 tour guide to get into those djinn faster.
Why don't you run any of the other monsters that search?
The Nekroz, these ones?
Yes.
They're just because none of the other ones can be used as the entire tribute, which is probably the main reason.
And why don't you run Divine Princess? Dance Princess.
Because while she's like good and defensive, she can create the lock. I feel like I took her out for these.
To make it go faster?
Yeah, just to be able to outrun Cleafort and Burning Abyss, which are insanely fast decks that are also competing for the top spot. For the spells, 3 Preparation of Rites. This card's insane. It allows you to recycle your used ritual spells and pull your monsters from the deck.
Level 7 or lower.
Yeah, for more searching. I play 2 of each of the Nekroz ritual spells. If I were to up any to 3, it'd be this one, because this is probably the most standard one, and this lets me get them from the grave. So I'm like pitching Brionac constantly to search things.
And what does Kaleidoscope do again?
Kaleidoscope is probably my favorite one out of the 3, because you can, instead of tributing monsters from your hand or the field, you can send monsters from your extra deck as the tribute.
Can you send as many as you want, or just...
You can only send 1 monster, but you can use this to summon more than 1 monster. So you can activate this to send a shooting Quasar and summon any amount of ritual monster whose level equal up to the level of the monster you send.
And then Nekroz Mirror is just the...
Nekroz Mirror is pretty standard, except instead of tributing, you can banish the monsters from your graveyard.
Okay, sounds good.
We're gonna move on to I think my tech choices are next. 2 Pot of Dichotomy. This card is instantly live on almost any hand, and it helps you draw for that push. The drawback of not being able to attack in this deck isn't that bad, however, because getting hit by Trishula is just as bad as taking a heavy attack. to salvage because when you have salvage, it allows you to add back your shurit and your clausolas, and they are both in your graveyard a lot. Salvage is live a high percent of the time, and I, again, don't see why more people aren't playing it. And lastly, we have two cards that are practically a staple in the deck, Book of Eclipse. It's the only card only way out of the djinn lock in the mirror match. And I don't think I explained the djinn lock well enough. Djinn Releaser of Rituals, if you're unfamiliar with the card, when it's in the graveyard, you can banish it and use it as part of the ritual requirement for a ritual summon, and since it's a level 3, it can be used as the entire tribute to summon Colossalos. And while the ritual monster you use summoning this card is on the field, your opponent can't special summon. And it's kind of a lockdown against all the decks in the current meta right now.
Okay.
So,
Go to extra deck.
2 Herald of Arclight. This is the MVP of the extra deck. It works great with Nekroz Kaleidoscope because you can send this to special summon the Nekroz Unicore. When Herald of the Arclight hits the grave, however, you can add any ritual monster or spell from your deck to your hand. So it replaces the ritual spell you just used, allowing you to get a free 23 beat stick from your hand on board. Shooting Quasar Dragon, because there's a play that combos Shooting Quasar and Shooting Star, which I'll show you later, more complex plays in the deck.
I'll keep it together.
Star Eater, because 11 actually is... There are a lot of combinations that you can use by sending this to special summon things, so I found myself using Star Eater a lot. These are the 2 other pieces to the Quasar play, which I'll get to later. The rest of the deck, the rest of the extra deck is just all your standard rank 4s, because you have your manjus, your senjus, and your unicores. And then I have the 1 Leviathan Dragon for the tour guide into the djinn, and here, yeah, for the tour guide into the djinn. And the reason that I picked Leviathan Dragon over any other rank 3 is because Leviathan Dragon has an effect that you can immediately detach to get the djinn in the graveyard. It's not like Alucard, Zen mains, or even like
well, you could use Dante,
but you don't really want
to resources.
Yeah, you'd pull yourself to, when this card's summoned. I really don't care if they like bottomless it, they can pulse it, and 2500 also is pretty menacing as well. So
it would have to be a Dante suicide.
Yeah.
Would you possibly run Acid Goal? No, that'd be bad.
No, because yeah.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
And then the last card in the extra deck is Master Hero Acid, because I use Mass Change 2nd in the side deck, which I'll get onto now.
Okay, side deck.
So a huge majority of this deck, it loses to back row. Cards like Vanity's Emptiness, it doesn't get along too well with. So a majority of my side deck is against back row. So I stated this a couple minutes ago. The Mask Change 2nd to bring out Acid to wipe basically Harpy's Feather Duster my opponent. 2 space because it's the generic back row hate card. I got 2 copies of Shadow Imprisoning. I'm going to turn these this way so you guys can see them better. 2 copies of Shadow Imprisoning because Shaddolls and Burning Abyss are still in existence. 2 Fairy Winds because it helps against the Cleafort matchup. Crush is good against the Cleafort and matchup and the Mirror match.
And the Tellarknight match.
And against the Tellarknights, that's also a good... Along with Senju and any other deck that searches. Royal Decree because it locks down back row. And then 2 Kaiser Coliseum because this stops any of the decks that are able to swarm the field really easily.
Like Burning Abyss and Kill Forts.
Burning Abyss, Cleafort, and even in the mirror, there are times where you're only going to put 1 big monster on the field, and having this Kaiser Coliseum blocks people from going into all their XZ plays and Synchro plays and all of that. And that's my Nekroz deck.
Well, we have the 1 more combo, actually.
Yeah, we have the 1 combo we want to show you.
Cool combo.
So, in order for this combo, you need a couple things. You need your opponent to control at least 1 card, and you need to have in your hand 2 Brionic and
they have to control a face-up card. So
these are 3. Your hand is, we'll say it's these cards, but we're gonna. This hand's really muddy. Go for these 2 for now. This is what your main concern is. So first, you're gonna activate Nekroz Kaleidoscope. And you're going to send Shooting Quasar Dragon to the grave to summon 2 copies of the Nekroz of Brionac. Next, you're going to overlay the 2 copies of Nekroz of Brionac for Inzektor Exabeetle, whose effect will trigger targeting Shooting Quasar and Dragon and equipping him to him from the graveyard. Next, you'll use Exabeetle's effect to detach Brionac to target a card you control and a card your opponent controls and destroy them. So you're
send
gonna
them.
send them to the
That's
graveyard.
even better.
So you're gonna send Shooting Quasar Dragon, and a card they control. And when Shooting Quasar Dragon leaves the field, its effect triggers special summoning Shooting Star Dragon from your extra deck. Next, you overlay a Gaia Dragon, the Thunder Charger, on top of Exobeetle, and you have a pretty menacing push play.
And even if they have that, even if they say they don't have a face-up card that you can send on your opponent's side field, Exobeetle's still at 3,000 because he gains half of Shooting Quasar's attack. So he's a 3,000 beat stick, and then when he gets killed, this goes, and then you still get to special summon a Shooting Star Dragon.
So it's still a pretty good play. That's the deck. If you guys have anything you'd like to say about it, any constructive criticism, please put that in the comment section below, and we'll see you guys next time.
Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you.